Today we're looking at 30 organic farming techniques that pro market gardeners use every day and that you can too. This is the ultimate market gardening trick. We're maximizing yields. We don't use this technique for any other crops. It's just for leeks. Number 16 is using drip irrigation to save on water, but also to really optimize and fraction water delivery to the plants. So drip is really simple. It's one main line, and then you have these drippers that allow you to percolate the water that's going down to the root systems. It saves so much water because it doesn't evapotranspirate. The wind is never a problem with drip, but also it allows you to water right over the plants where the water is needed and not in the pathway where the weeds are growing. It saves a lot of water, but it also targets the water exactly where you need it. The next step with drip is to fraction the amount of water that you're giving to the different plants, and a timer is a great way to do that. Number 17 is using greenhouses and different tunnels for all kinds of reasons. We're doing it for season extension to be planting way earlier in the spring. We're doing for season extension in the fall to harvest super late crops. We're using them in the summer using shade cloth for all kinds of reasons. And we're using these greenhouses for the money makers on the farm: tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, beans, even ginger. Greenhouse growing, it's where it's at. It would be foolish not to invest in them. Number 18 is the art of succession planting. So we had a crop, let's say this one here, Hakurai turnips. It was harvested and then brought to market the same day. We're transplanting new crops into the same bed. And then that's called flipping the bed, putting another crop in the same area. And we can do that 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year on one bed. That's really maximizing your space and your time on the farm. That's what market gardening is. Number 19 is taking this an extra step with crop planning. Crop planning is taking all the crops that are going to be grown, putting them into a plan, telling you where, how, and how much of each of these crops that you'll be planting, and planning also the successions so that you're understanding what's growing in space and time. Crop planning is the game changer that makes a good market gardener, and even for home gardeners, planning out your garden, understanding where things will go, in how much quantities, and when they'll be harvested is the way to do it. There's an amazing crop planning software that we've developed at the Market Gardener Institute. Heirloom allows you to do this seamlessly. It's a game changer also in itself. Number 20 is timely seed starting. So in market gardening, we learn how to reverse engineer when we need our plants, how much time they'll be growing in each of these containers, and when do we need to start everything to harvest things and plant them on time. For example, some seeds will be started in February, other seeds will be started in March, some in June. We're seeding year-round because we're following a calendar, a harvesting calendar. You can't just seed everything at once or at any time. We need to follow a plan. Number 21 is don't till new ground every year. Use a permanent bed system. It's really clever. You'll be making your beds, we raise them, you do it once, and then you're just using the beds as if for all the years moving forward. Permanent bed system is what allows you to be growing without a tractor because you don't need to be hilling, shaping, moving soil every year all the time. It's also so good for your soil ecology because you're not using heavy earth-moving machinery compacting the soil year after year. Permanent raised bed is really the way to go. Number 22, controlling pests without pesticides. So in market gardening, we have an array of different strategies from using insect nets to block out pests before they become a problem, to using beneficial insects that we introduce so that they can combat the pest problems in the first place, and being really on par with our fertility. All of this greatly diminishes the pest pressure in the garden. Number 23 is having a really efficient wash back area. Cleaning and washing vegetables is a big part of the job. It's at least 1 day out of 5 that we do this. So having a space that is dedicated to it, cleverly designed, with all the different systems, will help you get to the next level. So be smart, invest in your wash pack area design, make sure that everything is optimal, and save so much time. Number 24 is learning these special tricks for all the different crops that are out there. For example, when we plant leeks, we dibble a hole that's about 9 inches deep and we drop super long seedlings of leeks into these holes. There's barely 1 inch sticking out. We do this because we want to have big white blanch stem that is a killer at farmers market. We don't use this technique for any other crops, it's just for leeks. Another example is celeries. Did you know that the best way to keep harvesting celeries is just to cut a few branches every other weeks? And then you'll have heavy plants that give week after week, months after months, perhaps even up to a year of giving you amazing quality every week. Number 25, using the right tool for the right job. So in market gardening, we have all these different tools that allow us to do the work so much faster. So for example, this is a wire weeder and it has holes at the top. And this allows you to come and cultivate the soil over the drip tape. So you can go really close to the plant without removing your drips. This is just one example of how a specific tool can make the work so much faster. There's a ton of them out there, but this is a good one. Number 26 is tracing for many reasons. So different plants, you can leverage them by tracing them with different systems. Tomatoes, eggplants, peppers, beans, peas, it's all possible to grow them upward utilizing space so much better. It also makes them so less susceptible to soil-borne disease. It allows more airflow, it allows more light. It's really the way to go. Number 27, harvesting all of your greens in early morning. So what you want to do is avoid field heat. So we go really early and we start with all of our greens, much before the days become hot. Everything's harvested, it's brought inside, and it's cooled down in our wash packed area. In the same line of thought, you want to cool down pretty much all of your harvest before you bring it to market. That's what makes high quality produce. To harvest them early, you also need to harvest them rapidly. And that's where a lot of the tools that we use to harvest greens is a game changer in itself. 28 is proper curing some of your storage crops for longer shell life. That's also very important when we're talking about squash, when we're talking about potatoes, when we're talking about onions, when we're talking about garlic. You need to apply the right strategy to make sure that you have the longest shell lives for all of these crops. Learning how to cure them is not complicated, it's just applying the right strategy and also harvesting at the right timing under the right circumstances. Easy to learn, makes a big difference. Number 29 is pruning for more yield. So we have all these different crops that at one point or another we come and we prune them. So tomatoes, I'll give you an example. We want to be growing our tomatoes on 2 heads, having 2 leaders that are traced. Eventually they'll be lowered and lean in our greenhouses. So while we do it, we will just remove the head. So I'm pinching the head off of the plant, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to now be growing 2 heads, and that's going to allow us to get more yield ultimately out of that plant. That's one example. We have other examples on peppers, cucumbers, eggplants. There's a lot of crops out there that will help. You'll help the yield, and you'll help also the airflow and the overall health of the plant by pruning them either weekly, bi-monthly, depends on the crop. And number 30, our last one, is never stop learning. Took me many years to be a really good organic grower. And that's why, I've been involved in teaching. I teach an online course, the Market Gardener's Masterclass, where I share with growers from all over the world all these growing strategies into a game plan that helps you become really efficient. Everything that you've seen in this short video is taught in detail in my online course. It's a masterclass. It's there for you to become a pro. There's so much to learn. I'm so excited to be sharing all of this with you. And if you want to see 30 tools that we use in the Market Gardener, you can watch this video here. It's going to show you a lot of these tools. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I sure did. I'm passionate about sharing my knowledge, and there's a lot to learn. See you next time. JM out.